Welcome to Check This Out, podcast for kids.
And their grown-ups, where we explore people, places, ponderings, and past moments from history that shape the world around us. My name is Amy Contreras.
And I'm Cece.
Listeners, I'm sad to report this is the last episode in our series on the 7 natural wonders of the world. But obviously do not fear, because we will be back next week with new episodes on some fascinating past moments from history.
I can't wait!
Me too. We will be learning about past moments from history like D-Day and the fall of the Berlin Wall. Make sure to tune in for new episodes every Monday.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Good call, Cece. Today, we are talking about a natural wonder of the world that is located in Africa.
Victoria Falls.
Yes, Victoria Falls is on the border between the countries of Zimbabwe and Zambia. Before today's episode, have you ever heard of Victoria Falls, listeners?
No.
I'll be honest, before we started researching about the 7 natural wonders of the world, I wasn't very familiar with Victoria Falls. But learning about it has been so much fun. I think it's time to learn even more about Victoria Falls together and why it's a natural wonder of the world.
Here we go!
Let's start with some basic facts and info about Victoria Falls and why it's considered a natural wonder of the world.
Check this out.
Victoria Falls is the largest waterfall in the world.
Whoa, no way.
This waterfall spans the border between Zimbabwe and Zambia and is fed by something called the Zambezi River.
That is cool.
Victoria Falls is actually made up of 5 individual waterfalls. 4 of them are located on the Zimbabwe side of the border.
Good to know.
Each of the 5 waterfalls that makes up Victoria Falls has its own name. The waterfall names on the Zimbabwe side of Victoria Falls are Devil's Cataract, Main Falls, Rainbow Falls, and Horseshoe Falls. The 5th fall is called the Eastern Cataract and is located on the Zambia side of the border.
I learned something new today.
And we're just getting started. Victoria Falls is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We've talked about UNESCO in some of the other episodes. Do you remember which ones?
The harbor of Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, what other one?
The Great Barrier Reef.
Great memory, Cece. The UNESCO designation recognizes Victoria Falls as the largest waterfall in the world.
Ooh!
The falls are 355 feet high and 5,604 feet wide.
I can't imagine.
Victoria Falls is the largest single sheet of falling water in the world.
How incredible. That's amazing.
For reference, it's as high as a 35-story building, 45 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty from its base to its torch. And it's more than twice as high as Niagara Falls.
What?
Victoria Falls is 5,603 feet wide. That's 1 mile plus 323 more feet after that. If you want another way to think about just how big and wide Victoria Falls is, you could line up more than 50 blue whales end to end. You know, blue whales are the biggest mammals on Earth.
My mind is blown.
Yes. And an interesting fact, although Victoria Falls is the largest single sheet of falling water in the world and the largest waterfall, it isn't the highest waterfall. Listeners, do you know what the highest waterfall in the world is?
I got nothing.
It's okay. The highest waterfall in the world is Angel Falls in Venezuela at 3,212 feet high.
Got it.
Now that you've got some of the basics about Victoria Falls, I think you're ready to hear about the history of this natural wonder of the world.
Where should we begin?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the Zambezi River feeds the falls, and African people have been living in and around the falls for a long time.
How long?
Super long. Archaeological sites found around the falls have yielded Homo habilis stone artifacts that date back to almost 3 million years ago. There have also been Middle Stone Age tools found around that area that are about 50,000 years old, and Late Stone Age weapons and digging tools that are from 10,000 years ago that have also been found.
I had no idea.
Isn't that incredible? So lots of different people and tribes have lived around Victoria Falls for millions and thousands of years.
Check this out.
We know Victoria Falls today by its westernized name, but it has had other names throughout history. The local Le'a people who settled in the area near Victoria Falls around 1600 AD called it Shungu na Mutimita.
What does that mean?
It means roaring lion. And later, the Kololo, a Bantu-speaking people from South Africa, came to the falls area in around 1834, and they named the falls Musi Oya Tunya, which means the smoke that thunders.
Wow, I love it.
Mosi Oya Tunya, or the smoke that thunders, became known to the Western world as Victoria Falls only after Dr. David Livingstone first set eyes upon this natural wonder in 1855. Do you want to guess who he named the falls after? Was it
A,
his mom,
B,
his queen,
C?
his daughter?
If you think the answer is B, you're correct.
Dr. Livingstone was a Scottish missionary, and he traveled to Africa in the late 1800s. He was the first European to see the falls in 1855. He named the falls Victoria Falls for the Queen of England at the time, Queen Victoria. But the Mosi Oya Tunya, or the smoke that thunders, has played an important role for the people who lived in the areas surrounding the falls for thousands of years, long before European explorers came upon this area.
What do you mean, Mama?
A wide number of tribes and peoples from across Africa have resided in and around Victoria Falls over the last many thousands of years. Today, Victoria Falls is located in what has become a protected park to maintain the area around Victoria Falls for future generations to enjoy. And there are actually technically two parks because Victoria Falls spans the border between two countries in Africa. Listeners, do you remember what those countries are? Is it
A,
Zimbabwe and Zambia,
B,
Uganda and South Africa,
C?
Liberia and Kenya?
Mama, can I guess? A.
If you said A, good memory. There are two national parks that make up the Victoria Falls area. And again, the national parks are on the side of Zimbabwe and of Zambia. So on the Zimbabwe side, the national park is called Victoria Falls National Park. On the Zambia side, the national park is called Mosi Oya Tunya, again, which means the smoke that thunders National Park. But both of these national parks together are where the falls are located, and they support a wide variety of animal life.
Like what, Mama?
Animals like elephants, buffalo, white rhino, elands, hippos, and all types of antelope can be found in the area around Victoria Falls.
Here's a fun fact.
The Zambezi River, which feeds the falls, is one of the largest rivers in Africa. It actually is so big, it flows through 6 different countries in Africa. So because you know that, do you think it's A, the second largest river in Africa, B, the third largest, C, the fourth largest? If you guess C, you're right. The Zambezi River, which feeds Victoria Falls, is the fourth largest river in Africa. It's fourth after the Nile River, the Congo River, and the Niger rivers. Something really cool about the Zambezi River is that there are several myths and legends about the river.
Tell me everything!
Check this out. One legend is about the river god Nyami Nyami, who is sacred to the Tonga tribe. Legend says he lives under a large rock in Lake Kariba, which is located upwards of the Victoria Falls. The rock is close to the Kariba Dam wall. Nyami Nyami's form is a mix between a snake and a fish. You can even buy a Nyami Nyami pendant at Victoria Falls. It's believed if you wear this pendant, you will be protected, as Nyami Nyami protects life in and on the river. According to mythology, Nyami Nyami has been in hiding since the white men arrived at Victoria Falls. However, long before, the chief of the Tonga tribe had seen him, and it said that when he appears, the water turns red. Nobody dares risk coming too close to the rock where he dwells, known as Nyami Nyami's trap, because of the legendary tales of men who went there with their canoes and who disappeared and never came back. Legends say that the building of the Kariba Dam angered Nyami Nyami because the dam wall separated him from his wife. Floods and earthquakes in the Victoria Falls area are attributed to his wrath.
What an amazing story!
I think so too. Here are a couple more fun facts about Victoria Falls before we wrap up.
Fact number 1.
Victoria Falls is the only location in Africa and just one of a handful of places on Earth where there's a really cool natural phenomenon called the moonbow, otherwise known as a lunar rainbow.
Huh?
A lunar rainbow, or moonbow, is created as light is refracted through water particles in the air. But instead of the light source being the sun, it's the moon. So you can see rainbows at night at Victoria Falls.
I wish I could have seen that.
Fact number 2. Every minute, over 5 million cubic meters of water pours over Victoria Falls. We mentioned that Victoria Falls is the largest continuous sheet of falling water in the world, and a lot of water comes off of these falls. 5 million cubic meters per minute to be exact.
Fact number 3.
The park opened to visitors in 1905. When the park opened, the Falls Bridge was the highest bridge in the world at the time.
What was your favorite fact?
I mean, those were just a few extra ones. I think it's cool that Victoria Falls sits on the border between 2 different countries of Zimbabwe and Zambia. I also like that it has the indigenous name, which means the smoke that thunders. And it's huge. I mean, there's so much to discover.
Fair enough.
Victoria Falls is beautiful, huge, captivating, and important to the people and animals who live in and around the area. It's a natural wonder, a UNESCO protected site, and a place with a vast history. How special that we got to learn more about Victoria Falls in our episode today.
I love learning.
But before we let you go,
we wrote you a poem.
In Africa, there's a grand waterfall. It's the biggest in the world of them all. It sits across Zimbabwe and Zambia in between. Victoria Falls is a wonder to be seen. 5 waterfalls make up the site. The falls even create river rainbows shining bright. The water drops from heights so high, as tall as a 35-story skyscraper. The smoke that thunders roars so loud, a place that makes visitors proud, a UNESCO site protected with care for future generations to see and share. In 1855, explorer Livingstone saw it flow, then named it for his Queen Victoria, just so. To many, it's called Mosi Oya Tunya, a name that's strong, like thunder and funya. Victoria Falls is big and bold, a story of nature's power told, a wonder that we should all see, a magical place for you and me. Thanks for listening to another episode of Check This Out. We use verified sources when creating our episodes for you.
Our sources are
UNESCO.org, nationalparks.org, Encyclopedia Britannica, PBS, and Victoria Falls Guide.
Thanks for listening. See you next episode. Don't forget to subscribe.